Hello and welcome. In this video, we will explore using conferences in Canvas to deliver instruction to our students online. Before students can join you in an online conference, they must be able to navigate through Canvas to your conference. For that reason, the conference link must be visible to students on your Canvas homepage. On the left-hand side of the homepage is a list of all of the sites in your course which can be visited by students. If this side menu is not visible at first, you can make it visible by clicking on the menu icon here. If any of these links have the icon of an eyeball with a slash through it, that link will not appear on the student's screens. If the conference link is not visible, you must make it so by completing the following steps. First, click on Settings at the bottom of the side menu, then click on the Navigation tab at the top. You can scroll down and find Conferences in the lower section of the navigation menu. Click and drag Conference to the top section and place it wherever you want. Be sure to scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save. Now when you click on the home page, you can see that the Conferences link is now visible to students. When you click on the conference link, a new page opens with a large blue Add Conference button near the top. You also see two sections below the button. The first is a list of scheduled conferences, and this is where students will go when they need to join a conference. The second is a list of completed conferences. Students who might have missed the conference can go back and view recordings of old conferences as long as you recorded the session. To schedule a new conference, click on the blue Add Conference button. A new window will open which allows you to establish the initial settings for the session. At the top, you can change the name of the conference, and I suggest you give it a name that clearly identifies what the session is about. The type setting is not important because there is only one option. For the duration setting, I suggest you make it longer than you intend for the session to last. For example, if you're going to have a 1 hour long session, you might want to set the duration to 90 minutes in case some students have additional questions at the end of the session. Next, I recommend that you check the box that enables recording for the session. This allows students who could not attend to view the session and allows students who are there to go back and review the instruction. Personally, I always check the box to set no time limit for the session. In the description box, you can add additional information that more fully describes what the session is about. Finally, if you leave a check in the box that states Invite all course members, then an email will be sent out to every member in the course. This email is sent out to their school emails, so you'll need to make sure that students know to check their school emails. Alternatively, you can use a different method to contact students. I use the Remind app to send text messages to their phones because, well, teenagers and phones. Once you've finished with the initial settings, click on the blue Update button at the bottom. After hitting Update, you will be taken back to the Conferences page where you can now see the conference listed. To begin the session, just click on the Start button. I recommend you begin the session about 30 minutes early and tell students to join the conference about 10 minutes before the session begins. This will give you time to iron out any technical difficulties they or you might be having. After you click on Start, this pop-up window appears asking how you would like to join. You have the option of using your microphone or using audio only. You should join by clicking on the microphone icon. Also, any others participating in the session should join this way. Our laptops have built-in microphones, and it is so much easier and faster to run a session where people can actually speak rather than having to wait for everyone to type out their questions and responses. After you click on the microphone icon, you will then have to click on Allow to allow the program access to your microphone. Next, there will be a quick echo test to see if your microphone is working. Here we have the conference page, and while it may look confusing at first, the controls and tools are pretty straightforward and easy to understand. We will begin on the left side of the screen. Here there are three main tools: the public chat, the shared notes, and the users. In the public chat, anybody in the session can enter text in the box at the bottom, and it will appear in this area for all to see. This is especially useful if you have an internet link that you want to share with everyone. Also, students who cannot get their microphone to work can communicate by typing their questions here. However, typing is much slower than using a microphone, and you as the presenter will have to keep an eye out for questions or comments in the public chat. The shared notes allows anyone in attendance to enter notes while the session is going on. This is a single document that contains everyone's notes and is available for download as a notepad file. However, shared notes are not captured in the recording process, and all users must open their shared notes pad individually. Also, shared notes contributions are anonymous. The Users section is very helpful in several ways. To begin, it will list all attendees. You as the presenter will be listed first, and then the rest of the attendees will be listed in alphabetical order. You will also have the ability to mute any user. This is helpful if a student has forgotten to turn off their microphone. Although I doubt it will come into play, you can also kick any user out of the session. You and every other user can also set their status. When I take breaks during a long session, I set my status to away while I step away from my computer. Another helpful status is for students to click on the raise hand icon if they have a question. That will move their name automatically to the top of the list of users, and a short notification will sound to let you know someone has a question. Once their question is answered, they can clear their status and they will return to their proper place in the list. To clear a status, the student will click on Set Status again, and a Clear Status option will be available. If they forget to clear their status, you also have the ability to clear their status for them. I also often use the thumbs up and thumbs down options to see if a group is ready to move on. To minimize this section of the screen, just click on this back arrow and the Notes and Chat section will be hidden. Here we have the main screen where most of your delivery of instruction will take place. Let's take a brief tour. At the top and center is the Start Recording button. If you plan on recording your session, click on this button to begin the recording. I suggest you don't click on it until everyone is present and you actually begin. A window will open asking you to confirm that you are recording. Notice that if you press the recording button again, you will pause the recording. This is useful if you take a break. Just remember to press it again when you restart the session. At the far right on top is an options icon. Really, the only option that is important is the End Meeting option. This will end the session and kick everyone, including you, out of the room. The whiteboard comes preloaded with a default presentation. On the first slide that you see here is just some information about Big Blue Button, the company that runs this program. This default presentation comes with a total of 6 slides, this first one and 5 blank ones. You can click on the down button as shown here and select any of the slides, or you can use the right or left arrows to move through the slides sequentially. This is an example of a blank whiteboard, and on the far right you can see 4 icons which we will now explore. The top icon gives you a selection of tools. The first one will allow you to draw a text box and type text in it. You can choose the font size and color. It is important to remember that once you have drawn the text box, you cannot change the size of the box or move it. Also, once you click outside of the text box, you cannot click back in it to edit what you have typed. There are also tools that allow you to draw lines, circles, triangles, rectangles, and even draw freehand. I find this very difficult with a mouse on my computer at home, but much easier on my school laptop if I have a stylus. The option that looks like a hand allows you to pan around the whiteboard. This is only useful if you have zoomed into the whiteboard for some reason. To zoom in or out, you can use the plus and minus icons at the bottom. Then the hand icon allows you to move the screen around to different sections. The undo button allows you to undo your most recent action on the board, and the trash can allows you to clear the board. The last icon allows all users access to the whiteboard. In my experience, the students go a bit bonkers when this option is on, so I usually leave it turned off. At the bottom left of the main screen is a blue plus button. Clicking this allows 3 options. You can start a poll, upload a presentation, or share an external video. If you start a poll, a new window opens. You have the option of sending out a yes, no, true, false, or multiple choice poll. You do not get to type in the question, but simply ask it in the room or have it displayed on the whiteboard. You can also create a custom poll with your own options. The second option is to upload a presentation. This one is very useful. When you click on it, a window opens asking you to drag a file or browse to a file to upload. The file can be a Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or any PDF file. Once you've chosen the file, click on the blue Upload button at the top. The file will be converted and opened on the whiteboard. Each separate page will be a separate slide in the presentation. In this example, the file I uploaded is only one page, and so I do not have the option to move to a second page. Notice that a new option has appeared beside the blue plus icon. This allows you to send out a quick, multiple-choice poll where students can answer A, B, C, or D. When you send out the poll, this window opens and is only visible to you. Here you can see the results of the poll. If you want to share it with all users, then you can click on the blue bar to publish the results to everyone's screen. If you need to switch back to the default presentation or to a different presentation, click on the blue plus icon again and then click on Upload Presentation. Then make sure whichever presentation you want to appear on the whiteboard has a green check mark and click on Confirm. I usually make sure I have all of my presentations uploaded long before the session begins. The final option in the lower right is to share an external video. Clicking on this opens a window where you can copy and paste a link to an external video on YouTube, Vimeo, Instructure, or Dailymotion. The video will then play at the same time in all users' screens. Here I am sharing a video from YouTube. It is important to remember that these videos are not shared in the recording, so you may want to include a link in the public chat so that students who miss the session and watch the recording can also view the video. Finally, there are 4 icons in the bottom center. The first one allows you to mute yourself. I recommend you do this when you step away from your computer during breaks. However, remember to unmute yourself when you resume the session. I have returned from a break and spent 5 minutes lecturing, only to realize that I had not unmuted myself and no one heard what I was saying. The second button allows you to leave the audio conference, and you will probably not use this button. The third button allows you to share your webcam. So if you're having a good hair day and want your students to see you, click on it. This will open a window that asks to allow your webcam. Then you can view what the students will see. If you like it, click on Start Sharing, and your students will see your smiling face above the whiteboard. You can actually allow the students to use webcams, but too many webcams take up a lot of bandwidth and can cause the app to bog down. When you're done sharing your webcam, just click on the same icon to stop. The fourth icon allows you to share your screen. If you have another program open and want to share it with students, clicking on this will open another window, which allows you to select a second monitor, a different application, or a specific tab in Google Chrome. Here you see me sharing a PDF. This is an alternative to uploading the PDF as a separate presentation. When you're done sharing, click on the same icon at the bottom to stop. A few final notes. One thing you might want to do is to have a welcoming screen loaded before the session starts. Here's an example of the welcoming screen that I use when students first come into the session before it begins. Be sure to ask questions often or have some other means of keeping students engaged. It is difficult for students to pay attention in an online setting, and having some sort of interactivity with them will help them stay focused. If you plan on having a long session, I suggest you give short breaks every now and then. I try to give a short 5-minute break about every 20 to 30 minutes in my sessions. Once again, don't forget to start the recording when the session begins and to stop it at the end. This is very important for students who are unable to attend the session in person. Finally, don't forget to use your other online tools, whether it's Mastery Connect, the AP website, online quizzes, or submitting copies to Canvas. There are many ways to add to the experience of the Canvas conference. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have found this video helpful.